Well, welcome to the Mary Ann Ling Governance and Professional Learning Center. Super excited for this episode of Over the Shoulder. I'm joined by our art teacher, Rayanne Woodcock, also like snow carving expert. I don't know if if you feel that way, but after I think it's over 10 years. How many years of experience? 12 years of experience. I think that qualifies you. To have like an expert status. Maybe we should put like a badge in your emails, like snow carving expert. So, Rayanne, tell us a little bit about, you brought some friends. Tell us about your friends that you have here today.
This is Jared Shane. He is an alumni carver. He was on my team for 2 or 3 years when he was here in high school. And he must have liked it because he keeps doing it. He is now part of, I think we have 3 solid, almost all Hemlock alumni carving teams up in the Michigan division this year. So, it's kind of cool because the Michigan division only has somewhere around 20 teams in it, and Hemlock alumni is providing 3 of the solid teams that are there. So That's really kind of cool.
So what year did you graduate?
2019.
So class of 19, Hemlock High School.
This is my 4th year. So
that's awesome. Wow.
Yeah. It's kind of neat to be able to see them progress and love it. It was something that I introduced them to, and to watch them grow into adulthood and still enjoy it. And it's fun to be able to hang out with them as adults now, when we're there and see and hang out and talk and chat.
So we have 3 teams that are Hemlock alumni in the Michigan division.
Correct. Yep.
And then how many high school teams? Isn't it just?
We have 1 high school team. Yes. We've applied to have 2, but it gets complicated. I used to have Paris Conquest that used to come with me each year, but she grew up and she's now an art teacher in Pontiac, which is amazing. So she can't come this year, which is kind of bumming me out. But I have been in contact with her right along, just kind of keeping her in the loop and stuff. And she is going to come visit our team this year, so I'm very excited to keep that connection as well.
So, and then you have another friend.
Yes, I do. This is Ashlyn Rona, and she is the captain of this year's team. She has no experience. Our team this year is entirely brand new. Because last year, because of COVID, we did not have a team. And so we should have had carvers, experienced carvers training new carvers last year. But because the world just kind of shut down there for a hot second, we have a brand new team this year. So every single person that's on the team, our 4 carvers and our 1 alternate has absolutely no experience. So we're starting fresh, which we've done before. I'm not stressing.
Oh, so out of the 12 times you've done this?
Yes. Oh, yeah. I think it's been 3 or 4 times that we've had total unexperienced carvers. But that's okay because they were picked. I had 22 applicants this year, which is amazing. I was so excited. And we knocked it down to 5. They have to apply to be on the team. And we went through all those applicants and knocked it down to 5. And then we have the 5 carvers. Their applications were based on their artistic talent within the classroom, their work ethic in the classroom, the organization in the classroom, just the ability to see in 3D, because a lot of kids can't be able to do that. Their brains just don't work like that.
So, you haven't done this before. You've got a wealth of experience for you. You got tons of experience. So how do you practice? Do you do you get out like a fork and a knife and an ice cube? I mean, tell us a little bit, mentally, how are you preparing for this as a new carver and the team captain?
I think it's important that we did do our sketch for our idea for what's going to be our sculpture. And also we're going to do a 3D clay model, which will really give us perspective on how we need to carve it. And we will have our alternate standing back to help give us advice on what we're missing because we're going to be so up close in carving. And yeah, I'm really focusing on trying to get our team to be close-knit because I think it'll help us run smoothly this year.
Well, so you've obviously done this a lot. I don't know if you were part of the championship teams that we've had. I think you were part of one of them, right?
The 3 years I've done it, we got 3rd, and then we got first in the high school division, and then which that bumped us up to go into the next division, which in 2020 we got second place
in the Michigan
in the
division.
Michigan.
In the Michigan division. So you were first place as a senior then.
Yes.
So you've been part of that championship, just high quality program that we have. I mean, it's very serious out there. What's accomplished. So tell us a little bit about so you're going to be competing at the Michigan division. We're going to be competing at the high school division. What are you guys planning on carving?
We actually have a sketch of it. Do you want me to grab it?
Yeah, grab. I'd love to see it.
These are the iPads that you got us.
Part of our classroom makeover
Yep.
that we keep doing. And,
When she's pulling that up, we're doing like a head type sculpture, but we're still finalizing in the next couple of weeks.
okay. Now, so who else is on your team?
Jace Binder and then Lexi Seidel,
Okay.
which
Sure.
are also alumni.
Alumni.
And it's kind of cool because their team is pulling from all over the state. Like Lexi's in Grand Rapids right now, so
That's what I was.
she's at Kendall College of Art Design.
So she's
Which I was on a team with Jessica Berlin and then Gavin Briggs,
okay.
but more people wanted to do it, so we actually split our team up so we could have 6 people now instead of 3. So
Wow.
So Jessica and Gavin are carving as well, but they're just on a separate team.
So let's see the.
So this is
proposal.
our mock-up as of right now, and it has to do with losing the closeness of family and friends and things like that during COVID.
So where was the inspiration from?
We wanted to hit something that was in the news, but because that's something that we've kind of traditionally done. We do a sculpture to draw in the general public because you have a general public that comes through that does not have any necessarily art experience. They're just there for the enjoyment of family time. So we try to do something that will draw in the general public, but then we always do an artist statement along with it that kind of brings in the fuel for the piece. And normally when you have 4 artists coming together, they don't just make something to make something. There's a reason, there's a passion behind it. So we tried to come up with something that was affecting these kids, these students' everyday lives right now. And obviously in their everyday lives right now, the biggest thing all over the news, all over everyone's mind is COVID, COVID, COVID. We were kind of leaning away from directly doing COVID because I think it's redundant. People are getting tired of it, the COVID overload that you're hearing all over the news. But we wanted to talk about it, how it was affecting maybe more of the social emotional aspect of it, because I think that's really how it's affecting high school students the most, and a lot of people the most, is just you're missing family, you're missing friends, you're missing the closeness that you once had. And so we kind of created a sculpture based on that.
Well, it kind of be exciting, to see that. And I'm sure there's going to be a lot of other great sculptures to view. These are long days, though.
Yes.
So, I mean, you guys work, 10, 12 hours?
It's 12 hours, 7 a.m. to 10 p.m. Thursday. They actually extended it this year. And then on Friday, we work from 7 a.m. to 5 p.m. So
Wow. So
it's long days.
about 20 hours goes into a sculpture.
Yep.
for us, we start on Wednesday night
Okay.
and we go to Saturday morning at
So they have even more.
10 a.m. about. So
Wow.
we like to carve at night since usually it's colder at night with how warm it's been the last couple of years. So
The sun beating down on the snow is very helpful.
Is there any, so this is going to be the last week in January, correct?
January 27th and 28th.
So 27th, 28th is going to be the carving,
Mhm.
and then
And
the
then that
Snow
weekend.
Fest goes that whole weekend. So we'd love to see Hemlock folks out cheering on the teams.
For sure.
Obviously the alumni teams are going to be carving more at the nighttime. How
But you
late
can
did you
still
say
see
that
the
goes
sculptures.
till?
like
I said they can still stop by and see the sculptures,
Yeah.
even if they're not carving.
oh yeah, we carve. It's like we get done at Saturday at 10 a.m.
Okay.
and then judging, and then we get awards around 3 o'clock.
So Saturday's the big awards. Usually these sculptures, is weather permitting, stay
Right.
up until
Yeah, they stay
Monday
up even
or
into the
Tuesday.
next week.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So this is a big weekend for Frankenmuth.
Mhm.
We're really excited to be part of the Zender Snow Fest. Is it Snow Fest or Snow? Yeah, Snow Fest. And so this is our 12th year, or is this our 13th year?
This is my 14th year of teaching in Hemlock, so this is our 12th year carving.
So 12th year carving. So we've done 11. We've won championships a handful of times, and we're kind of, the pressure's on. We've been on an uptick here. I feel like between pom-poms and snow carvers, man, we have been like nailing it. And so, do you guys have, so you guys are both artists, you're an art teacher, do you guys have any advice for, you know, young students out there, young parents, you know, in general, any advice, or as artists?
It is like a competition, but the best part is like meeting new people and enjoying like your time with your friends, and just like it's a unique hobby. Like not many people get to do what we are doing. So
No, do you guys, you said a hobby, so do you, like on the side, like this next weekend, do you go outside like and build a cube of snow and then like start carving it out? Or?
no, it's not quite hard enough.
Okay.
It's-
But so you're saying not maybe this weekend, but in the future weekends?
But I honestly sometimes pumpkin carving also can help just get you a little
Any type of
sense,
takeaway sculpture.
Okay.
because you can't add to it, so it helps you understand that you have to be careful and not take
It's not like building a snowman where if like a piece falls off, you can grab a chunk of snow and stick it back on. It doesn't usually work like that. Like once you cut it off, it's gone. So
that's kind of that's the word, takeaway.
Yeah.
So this is a takeaway sculpture. We're starting with a mass, and then we're slowly carving. So this is really Mount Rushmore. I mean, that's what we're doing here.
Yeah.
But we're doing it with snow, and you know, you think about and obviously a little bit smaller scale. But man, the amount of work and the ability, the vision that you all have to be able to make a block turn into a sculpture is pretty impressive. How do you, as a teacher, you know, some of it you talked about, just that natural 3D ability, but obviously there's some instruction, there's coaching, and there's all that part.
That part's kind of fun because I am not allowed to touch the snow at all. I cannot touch the snow. If I touch the snow at all, we are disqualified if we get caught. And there is a lot of camaraderie between teams, but that's like the one, like you don't go over that line. Like we'll borrow tools, we help each other out like crazy, but that is the one thing the other teams will rat you out on is if they see your teacher touching the snow, which I understand because it's cheating and that's not good. So I can work with them. There are other blocks that are like next to our block, down a little bit, where I can show them how to use the tools, and I do a lot of like direct instruction. Like I can actually kind of move their body, say, okay, we need to be on this angle, like you can cut here, you can cut here. And with that 3D model that Ashlyn was discussing, it's a 1/12 scale model. So every inch on our 3D model equals a foot on our actual snow block. So we can kind of hold that model up. And
Did you do that for all your sculptures over the years?
Yes.
Or is that, okay.
Yep.
Because it is so neat. You know, there's like that glass cube, and it's got all the lines and the
Yep.
sculptures inside. And,
Yep. So there's lots of math involved too.
yeah, it is. So do you have any advice for younger students?
Yeah, I never could have imagined myself here. Believe it or not, I used to be pretty introverted. But coming to high school, it really exposed me to a lot of new people and a lot more people. But I would give the advice of you really just got to put yourself out there, because falling flat on your face, you're supposed to do that, and you're going to learn from that. And if I hadn't fallen flat on my face a couple times, I wouldn't be where I am right now. And I am so happy with all the stuff that I'm doing. And I really just recommend that if you want to do it, because the worst that's going to happen is that you're going to fall down and you're just going to better yourself.
Fail forward.
Yes.
Right? I mean, if you make a mistake, it's at least
rolling.
progress.
Yep.
You know, and I think that's the interesting part about this with the takeaway sculpture is, you know, often, you know, depending on the medium and stuff, you know, you always think, well, you know, happy accidents.
Mhm.
There are no happy accidents in takeaway.
You have to learn to find plan B, C, D, E, F, because yes, there is a original plan that you go in with, but I can literally remember one specific year that I walked away for a minute to go get the team hot chocolate. They were getting kind of cold, and so I was like, okay, don't cut anything off majorly while I'm gone. I'll be back in 10 minutes. I'll bring you guys hot chocolate. So I'm walking through the parking lot with a tray of hot chocolates, and I'm literally watching them because we were doing these two elephants with their trunks like intertwined.
Oh, yeah.
And I'm watching them cut the chunk of snow that we need for the upper elephant's trunk. Like his trunk was supposed to come back and like touch his head and then come back up. And I'm watching them, and I'm like, oh, there it goes. Like, and so
how did you guys recover?
Well, we kind of had to go into plan B. I like walked up and I was like, hey, did you guys know you cut his trunk off? And they were like, oh, and they kind of panicked for a minute. And I was like, panicking isn't going to do anything. So what are we going to do from here? And so we ended up like changing the position of the mother. It was a mother elephant and a baby elephant. We actually did really good that year too. We just had to change the position of her head. So it also, there's a lot of STEM that gets involved in this, like with the weather, temperature, tons of stuff, but it's also like problem solving and thinking on your feet and not, falling and then staying there. It's falling and getting back up and being like, okay, well, we just messed that up. Now what do we do? So there's a lot of problem solving and camaraderie and working with people. I mean, it's definitely a lot more than just art that you're learning there, which is what I love about it. And then we can take that all back and show it to all of my other classes when we get back, because I do a full slideshow with them, and even middle school gets a full slideshow, and they are super pumped up because they always wonder where I am for 3 days, so I have to show them where I was at, and they get really excited about it. So
that is awesome.
But I remember that year also when the truck came down. That was with you in the parking lot.
Yep.
Were you on the team that year?
Yeah, I was an alternate, so I couldn't touch the snow either. But basically, it was training for the next year, and so that year was a little warm, so we could pack a little bit more. But my senior year was also a cold year, so it's different each year because the cold years, if you break it off, you can't fix it. But some of the warmer years, you can add a little bit, but it's not like a snow.
Right.
But our learning from the best, it has helped us a lot, and like Paris Conquest has helped too, but she definitely has taught us.
So now, do you snow carve on your spare time? Or?
I have tried 1 year to carve on a Michigan team, because I've been invited to carve on Michigan teams like so many times. I've been invited to carve on international teams because I have friends that carve up at that level too, and I always turn it down. I did it 1 year, and I tried to balance carving on my own Michigan team, being a mom of small children, and coaching a high school team all at the same time. So I, at this point, have turned down the invitations, and I just really enjoy taking the high school kids. It's carving. It's just carving in a different way because I'm carving new carvers instead of carving the snow.
Well, you kind of multiply yourself. I think that's what's so exciting about this is you take your artistic abilities and you're multiplying it, and now we have a generation of carvers. It seems like we have if we could line up all of our teams, we have an army of carvers.
Yeah. It's really kind of cool to like just step back for a moment and just like appreciate like how that these guys came from being my students in my class to now like really good friends.
Now, have you, because we have it's since you graduated, we've kind of upgraded some tools through some grants. We got a lot of really steel cutting, laser saws. Like you basically put a sheet of metal down, put in a design, and then the next thing, have you guys used that yet?
We haven't yet because the year Jess Berlin was with us, somebody had availability to those tools previous to us having them here in district. So we've got a set of tools right now, but I know in the future, like I've already talked to Heath, like, hey, that's pretty cool. We need to look at these because a lot of our tools, my father-in-law loves to tinker and weld and do that kind of thing. So I will go throughout the Michigan teams and the international teams and kind of take pictures of their tools because they're more than happy to talk to you about it. And then I'll bring them back to my father-in-law or parents of the kids on the team and be like, this is what we need. How do we get it? And just kind of come up with a way. So
that's exciting. Well, any parting words?
I just want to say, appreciate because I got sponsors this year. So
big time.
We have sponsors too.
Really? So who's your sponsors?
Solutions for Automation in Saginaw, and then Correct Tool, and then McDonald's of Carroll.
Wow.
So we also did sponsors in high school, but with this being like our own team, it just is a different perspective because we don't have as much help anymore. So we're on our own and we reach out for sponsors and just
it's expensive.
Yeah.
It's a lot of out of
We got signage done, and like new coats are coming in a couple weeks and stuff.
Oh, that's sweet.
Team logo and stuff.
So you guys got a team logo even?
Yeah, our team is below 0. So.
Oh, that is a cool name. Now, is ours? Do we have a special name?
We just have a Hemlock Snow
Yeah,
Carvers team.
we're,
Yeah.
you know,
We have our own jackets that Sam's Club purchased for us a few years ago. And we have a sponsor that's been like a family friend that pays for all of our hotel rooms and things like that.
Okay. Do they want any acknowledgement? Or?
His name is George Burrows. He's
Okay.
super sweet.
So you just, family friend, no business.
He was a teacher, and it's something that he enjoys coming back and giving forth to, and he gets to see where his proceeds go to every year. He's on our sign, and he comes to Love the Arts Night every year. He's just an amazing man.
That's awesome.
Yeah, without him, we definitely wouldn't be able to flip the bill for all this stuff. So, because we have coats and boots and hats and gloves and snow pants and stuff, because we have a lot of times kids that come in that just don't have availability of that stuff. So I try to make sure that that is not a reason why you wouldn't apply to be on the team.
Yeah. I'm Jordan Chen.
I'm Rayanne Woodcock.
I'm Ashlyn Rona.
We are Snow Carvers, and we are Hemlock Huskies.
Oh, that is awesome. Thank you guys so much for being here today.